Hey Browns Nation! Today, we're breaking down some big moves and insights from the Cleveland Browns as we gear up for an intense Week 9 matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. But before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on the latest Browns news and analysis. Alright, let's get started. We've got a lot to unpack with Jameis Winston's return to the NFL, his big numbers against the Ravens, and insights from our defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz on how we plan to combat the Chargers' high-efficiency offense. Winston's 334-yard, three-touchdown performance in his first game back was beyond impressive. It was exactly the spark our team needed after a rough start to the season. But this week, the stakes get even higher as we face one of the most disciplined offenses in the league and a defense that has been shutting down opponents. Coach Schwartz had some strong words about what he's seen from the Chargers' offensive approach, describing it as an old-school philosophy. He highlighted how their game plan relies on securing first downs and playing it safe with screens and controlled plays. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has thrown just one interception all season. Combined with just 4 total turnovers, the Chargers currently have the second-best turnover rate in the NFL. This is a team that values possession and control of the ball, and that's the challenge for our defense this week, finding ways to disrupt an offense that's known for playing it safe. Schwartz's analysis shows that he's focusing on his methodical style, something we'll need to overcome if we're going to build on last week's win. Last week's performance against Baltimore wasn't just big for the offense, it gave the entire team a morale boost. Winston had a few risky throws, as expected with his gunslinger style, but his impact was felt immediately. The offense set season highs with 29 points and 401 total yards, energizing a team that is looking for consistency. Elijah Moore was another standout, catching 8 passes on 12 targets for 81 yards. Those stats mark Moore's best performance of the season thus far, and what really stands out is his ability to create separation. According to Pro Football Focus, Moore's 81.82% separation rate ranked him in the top 5 among all NFL receivers in Week 8. That's exactly the kind of dynamic play we need as Moore steps up to fill the void left by Amari Cooper's recent departure. The chemistry between Winston and Moore is promising, especially considering how new they are to playing together. Moore had a whopping 29% target share last week, showing Winston's confidence in him as a go-to receiver. That connection could be a game-changer as we get deeper into the season. Moore's stats over the past 2 games, 14 receptions on 18 targets for 126 yards, show a clear upward trend. It's a hopeful sign that the Browns' passing game is evolving and finding new ways to succeed, and the timing couldn't be better. As the Browns head into this critical matchup, it's clear that there's more at stake than just another regular season game. A win this week would be a huge boost to our playoff hopes and show that this team isn't just about surviving the season, we're here to compete. With the offense firing on all cylinders under Winston and Moore emerging as a reliable target, there's a renewed sense of optimism around the team. And while the Chargers' offense can be a tough puzzle to figure out, Schwartz and the defense are focused and ready to make it happen. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Can Jameis Winston and Elijah Moore keep this momentum going and lead us to victory? Do you believe in Schwartz's ability to counter the Chargers' cautious but effective style? Let us know what you think in the comments. Now let's dive into Jameis Winston's return, injury updates, and exclusive team insights. Alright, let's get right to it. Starting off with Jameis Winston, his performance against the Baltimore Ravens in Week 8 was nothing short of electric. Winston's first start in 2 years brought out 3 touchdown passes, 334 yards, and a huge upset win. It's been a breath of fresh air for Browns fans, but there are some mixed opinions about his style of play. Former Browns receiver Josh Cribbs had a take on Winston's performance that might surprise some fans. Cribbs praised Winston's energy and big plays but pointed out that the game could have gone south quickly. The Ravens dropped several picks throughout the course of this game, Cribbs noted, hinting at Winston's history of risky throws. He even questioned whether Winston's gunslinger mentality might pose problems down the line, especially against a disciplined defense like the Chargers. Now, the Browns are sitting at 2-6, which might seem like a tough spot, but the team isn't throwing in the towel. In fact, this upcoming game is huge for our playoff hopes. A win against the Chargers would not only keep us in the hunt but give us a confidence boost heading into the bye week. Plus, with 4 AFC North games left, including 2 against the Steelers, the playoff door is still open. Winston's leadership and bold playstyle could be exactly what Cleveland needs to turn the season around, especially with our key players finding their groove. Speaking of key players, let's talk about the injuries. Tight end David Njoku is back on the report with ankle and hand issues, and his status for the Chargers game remains uncertain. If Njoku sits, it could be a big blow for Winston, who targeted him 7 times in last week's win. Njoku has been a valuable part of our offense, and he's a proven threat against the Chargers. Remember his incredible 149-yard game back in 2021? With him possibly out, we might see more of tight ends Jordan Akins and Jeff Swaim in action as we shift to a 2 tight end set. The offensive line isn't looking great on the injury front either. Guard Joel Bitonio missed practice for the second day with a foot injury, and center Ethan Posick was limited due to a back issue. Bitonio said he's working through it and staying optimistic, but didn't give a definitive answer on his availability. Michael Dunn could step in if Bitonio isn't ready, but with our O-line looking a bit banged up, it's a tough challenge as we face a Chargers defense known for its aggressive, physical play. We also have updates on cornerback Denzel Ward, who's recovering from his 6th career concussion, and star left tackle Jedrick Wills Jr., who was limited in practice with a knee injury. Head coach Kevin Stefanski didn't have an update on Ward's return, but defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz made it clear, you always want your best players out there. With the Chargers' offense led by a careful, disciplined Justin Herbert, having Ward in the lineup would be a huge help. Herbert has thrown only 1 interception all season, so we need our best on the field to keep their offense in check. And speaking of the Chargers, special teams coach Bubba Ventrone has some great insights into Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh's coaching style. Ventrone, who played for Harbaugh back with the 49ers, described him as old school, a coach who values toughness, physicality, and discipline. According to Ventrone, Harbaugh knows how to make the most out of his players, building a culture that thrives on hard work and relentless effort. You see it in the way the Chargers run the ball and dominate on defense. Harbaugh's style could make this an intense, physical game, and it'll be up to our team to match that energy. On a lighter note, we've got to talk about Myles Garrett and his epic Halloween costume as the Terminator. Bitonio was totally impressed, saying, "It was a great costume, pretty high quality." Garrett even got a nod from Arnold Schwarzenegger himself, which is some high praise. Just another example of how Garrett brings intensity both on and off the field. All right, Browns fans, here's the big question. Can Jameis Winston keep up this momentum against the tough Chargers defense? Do you agree with Cribb's concerns about his risky play style, or do you think Winston's aggressive approach is exactly what we need? And how do you think injuries will affect us this week? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more Browns updates. Let's keep the excitement rolling and gear up for a big game. Go Browns!